Yep.
Good morning, everybody. It's Big Papa Timo, and I'm here as always with my buddy.
Fear the Reaper.
And this is.
The mid-lunch crisis.
How are you doing today, guys? It is cold as all hell in western Pennsylvania. It is not a good day. Not
Yep.
a good day at all.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, I
It's
need to
Big
turn
Papa
my audio
Timo, and
off.
I'm here.
Yay. Talking in my own ear. Apologies. Alrighty, let's catch up with chat real quick because apparently chat exploded the last 2 minutes. We got Rollin in the house. We got Devante rolling in first. Thought he was third with Oreos, but he was in fact in here before me. He was in here before Reaper, and he even beat the bot. Welcome, Devante. Good to see you, buddy. We got Jenny in the house. How you doing, buddy?
Jenny from the laundromat.
Oh, Jenny from the mat. Ooh, is that where we're at today? All right. We got rated on Conan. Fixing it back up and doing more modifications to the base. They used a trebuchet on you. Ooh, brutal.
Yeah.
So they brought siege tech on you guys last night, huh?
Yep.
Wow. All right. Lost a lot, but save all the thralls and other things. Nice. Yeah, that is definitely getting real. If you guys have made some PvP friends that are bringing trebuchets, nice. All right. Probably do that after laundry. Mary Lizzie with the holla and the kitties in the house. How you doing? Some paw-shaped peppermint Oreos from Mary Lizzie. All right. We got. Ooh, we're talking vanilla Minecraft, huh? Fistmit's doing some PC vanilla server stuff. Right on. My laptop, I don't know if it'll handle vanilla Minecraft or not. I haven't tried it. That's actually, it's a load test that I want to do. Sorry, I'm sitting here looking at the floor while I'm catching up on chat. I do apologize. So I'll try and go through my refiners. You want to catch us the rest of the way up there, Reaper?
Yeah, so vanilla Minecraft. I know I can't run that yet. See, Jenny said the Black Ice Ridge is a lot worse. To expand on that a little bit, there's really one major spawn point for Black Ice and Conan, and one of the clans has pretty much blocked that with a base. We found it and we mentioned it to the admins, and I guess since then it has gotten worse. Devante said he's been trying to get upgrades for his living ship with no luck. He's warped to 13 systems and boosted for like 10 hours. The only things he could find in space so far are dead freighters and traders.
So that actually brings up an interesting point, Devante. You are not the only one with that problem. I think what happened was when they released everything, the spawn timers and the spawn seeds were set way too high. And I think Hello Games has rolled back a little bit because I'm also having the same problem. Last stream we did, the second part of Mid-Lunch Crisis on Friday was me pulsing around looking for upgrades and stuff like that, Reaper, and I had no luck. I had no luck at all. So for some odd reason, I have a butt ton of sodium. I don't know why I'm carrying around so much sodium. Let's move that around.
So apparently you got my sodium from Friday.
Yeah, I had all your sodium. All your sodium.
I don't want to apologize to our viewers for Friday. Man, I was hurting. I'm still not 100%, but I'm here. I spent the last 2 days literally in bed.
But you didn't have corona, so we're fine.
Nope, no corona.
I always recommend that with a slice of lime, and it tends to make all your problems go away.
Let's see. Some bot spamming here. Everybody's testing out the commands. Oh, apparently Jenny and Harley started a war after I specifically told Jenny I didn't want that.
Jenny's good at that.
Yes, I specifically. There's a reason why when I went off, I took all the explosives with me. Apparently, I'm going to have to make some changes to the clan member access.
All right, so as usual, Big Poppa Timo is playing around with his inventory a little bit. Now, we are not on a regular save, guys. We're on a survival save right now. So I do not have a living ship on this particular save. We're not worried about living ship stuff today. We are going to go a whole different route for today's stream. I have the Angry Tangerine of Doom, the Buenos Aires, and I have all sorts of different. I have some cable pods, modified stars, capillary shells. Yeah, I've got all of the. The only one I'm missing is the bush, the fractured bush. That sounds dirty. And the Buenos Aires does in fact have Admiral Rolafadil. It's not. This is the guy that replaced Captain Bob. He's been an admirable admiral for a while now. That's hard to say. Hasn't given me any crap. Hasn't been giving me a hard time about the ships. But as you can see, guys, I have a Thumper in the back. I have Big Blue. I have Lil Blue. I have Dora. I have Dora 2, also known as Transport, and still have this other fighter. Yamachi's Dream, which I don't know what to do with this thing, guys. I don't know if I should build her up or if this is the one that's going to get... This is probably going to get swapped for a living ship when I get to that quest line. What I wanted to do today was I was actually going to go and check out... there's way too much crap to fix in that one. I wanted to check out bases, so I want to figure out which one of these guys is Transport. This is Transport. And let's make sure Transport is relatively clear. I must have shot something with this guy. Let's go ahead and clear this out, put that in inventory. Good, we got space. All right, so Transport is actually nice and clear. That is a beautiful site right there. Text slots are all full, and inventory slots are all empty.
Nice.
And we should be floating over top of a terraforming catastrophe of a moon. We are. Let's go down to base, and let's see where the heck we are. Because what I did realize is on this particular save, Big Poppa Timo is surprisingly nowhere close to Unicapped.
Ooh.
I only have 300 million on this guy, so that means I could probably scrap 6 decked out max size fighters. That's it. Alright, did I not put a landing pad here? Let's see, why did I even put this base here, guys? Who knows? Made allies with the clan that has 3 members. Alright, so you guys doubled your size that way. Is Pimpin playing with you guys on the PvP? Ooh.
Yes.
Dead moon, no atmosphere, flying around.
Yep. Pimpin and Galaxy, Jenny, Harley, and myself.
Oh, nice. So you've actually got a decent-sized clan.
Yep.
In general.
Again, though, I do have to say that was something that we had talked about, making allies, and we decided against it. See what happens when I get sick, guys.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we have an S-class mineral deposit here. And I don't even know what it is. It's probably cadmium. Let's find it and find out real quick. This was a potential build site for Big Poppa Timo, and this might be what we end up working on today, because I wanted to do a little bit of building. And I hadn't even thought about doing certain things, and Reaper and I, when we first met, he brought me to his Bite Beats location, and he did something novel with his power cords that I had never thought about. Alright, so that is in fact an S-class cadmium. What Reaper does with his with his power lines is he tends to bury them. Which, like I said, I had never even thought of.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that one there. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find the electromagnetic power,
Let's see.
which is over yonder. I'm just going to drop plates on the ground so that it's easier for me to find these later. Hey, look, an egg.
Dave Bonte said he is so broke.
What was so broke?
He's broke.
Oh.
He only has 72 million.
Oof. That is so broke.
Mary says, maybe you need a break from No Man's Sky, Davante, come play Minecraft. You know,
Mary Lizzie is pushing hard for the Minecraft today, guys.
You know, I have to say that is a game that I've never played.
Minecraft?
Yeah.
Really?
My youngest has been pushing for me to play, and it's just not a game that I can get into. I'm not a fan of the blockiness.
You don't like the voxels? Gotcha.
No.
That's actually the biggest downfall for me is the blocky voxel graphics. I don't like that as well. But there was a time when it was actually right after the WoW update came out for Battle for Azeroth, when I realized that I actually have a paperweight of a potato of a PC that couldn't play it anymore, and I had not yet found No Man's Sky. So what I was doing was I was searching desperately for any game that would feed my addiction of gaming and just stress relief and everything else like that. And Minecraft was the first thing that came up because it is, in fact, other than crap graphics, which I really shouldn't say crap graphics, other than their graphic style, it does everything that I wanted to do, where you can go out and you can explore, you can find new things, you can farm, you can craft, you can do all sorts of really cool things in Minecraft. So I played Minecraft for a little while, and I got over my aversion to the graphics. And Minecraft is super, super cool about crafting. There's literally thousands and thousands of recipes and things that you can build in Minecraft. And as long as you can get past that blocky voxel graphics, it's really not a bad game. It's really not a bad game at all. Alright, so let's refresh some life support here. Totally forgot which one of these was the power. The power is over there. Now, what I was thinking about for this, guys, was... so, gotta do... Let me get right underneath here, which is right by the Cadmium O2 build site. Alright, so that is exactly what I was naming this. Nope, wrong button. You'll have to forgive me, I have not been playing No Man's Sky for the last 24 hours. I've been playing Farming Sim. I'm going to blow a giant hole in the ground. And I want to get all the way down to bedrock. Preferably without the game glitching me into the ground. This might take a while.
You want to say hi to Timo?
Hi, T.
Hey buddy, how's it going? How are you feeling? Are you feeling better?
He asked if you were feeling better.
Yes, Timo.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
And also, if you want to play a cartoony yet terrifying game, look no further than Slime Rancher Adventure Mode.
Slime Rancher Adventure Mode.
Because
Alright.
stars straight up engulf you.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
get too close.
Good to know. Good to know.
Is that what you're gonna go play Slime Rancher?
Oopsie, yeah, it's actually gonna get it.
Okay. Yep, that's one of his go-to games.
I can't remember who it is. One of our community members streams a lot of Slime Rancher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
One of the ladies that's part of the No Man's Sky community. Mary Lizzie, do you know who I'm talking about?
Mary Lizzie says she's pushing Minecraft because she doesn't want to play alone. She hates playing alone unless she's feeling introverted, which isn't often. Davante said it's a fun all around except the look, referring to Minecraft. What you doing there, Timo?
I am making a tunnel. I am basically tunneling at the ground level here. I've gone down to bedrock, and I'm headed towards the gas cloud on this one because it was the first one that I saw.
Might I ask why you're tunneling?
Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I brought it all the way down to bedrock so that I can actually bury a lot of this technology underground. The gas cloud node extends vertically extends vertically for purity, as do the deep mining nodes and the power nodes. So you don't have to actually put your stuff on the surface. And what I figured was, since you had shown me that you actually hide your power lines, why not hide all of the technology? My biggest complaint with the deep miners is that thumper vibration. When you get close to them, that thumper vibration is distracting. But the other thing that I also don't like is when you put the storage containers in, they take up a lot of space, and they're pretty ugly. So what I was thinking of doing was actually putting all of those on bedrock underground. Ooh. And then just running everything straight back to the base. So the only thing we're going to see at the base when I'm done is going to be a single power line and two different
supply lines.
Two supply lines coming up out of the ground, or at least that's the hope. So this one here is going to be for the gas cloud, which is oxygen. And then what I actually need to do here is go all the way back to where it was, because it's actually going to be a pretty extensive tunnel. And then, yeah, from here, the lines will go up. Whoops. Now, of course, the big question is, do I have enough jetpack to get out? Since it's an airless planet, shouldn't be too big of a problem. Yep, there we go. And I should be able to just go from this location, and then when I'm done, I'll just fill this back in. Or at least I'll fill in the top of it so that you can't see it.
Davante, let's see. Davante says he loves Slime Rancher. Mary said it's Marissa Stewart.
Thank you so much. That is who it is. That is exactly who it is. I knew Mary Lizzie would know.
See, Roland popped back in.
Welcome back, Roland.
He asked if Minecraft was cross-platform, and Mary said no, not currently, but if they don't get enough PC players, Flash will switch the vanilla server to Bedrock coding so it can be cross-platform. So here's my suggestion. Nobody join the server.
Let's make Flash do some work.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, because frankly, those of us who don't have a PC that can run Minecraft kind of missing out. Now, I am currently in the process of changing that. I'm ready to make some changes to my current setup, which will make it easier to stream, and hopefully adding a gaming PC to my
repertoire.
Yeah, to my tool belt.
All right, so that gas cloud is there. We're not quite right beneath it yet.
Davante said he does this as well, about burying the mines, and Mary says Jeff has taught me that if the trumpets are up about 10 floors, it negates most of the thumping and the noise.
If they are 10 floors above you?
Yes.
Okay.
10 floors up.
I can get behind that, but I can also put them 10 floors below ground. I'm really just going to try and call in a giant worm. I'm looking for sandworms at this point in time.
You doing your best, Reba?
I'm going to do my best Muad'Dib. Alright, so that should be pretty close. So I wonder if we can...
He's working on the modded server for patrons, which will not be cross-platform. And she said thumpers, not trumpets. Thanks, Auto Wrong.
I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, I did too. Again, Mary, I have to say, being a patron, currently that does not do me any good.
Alright, so that is that direction. The mine is that direction, so we need to start blasting our way that away. Whoops, wrong button. Alright, so...
Devontae said Bedrock sucks, you don't want to try it and think you're playing Minecraft. Even without mods, the Bedrock version of Minecraft was built to play on your phone, and then Microsoft ported it for all consoles.
Good to know. Yeah, I totally forgot that Microsoft ended up buying. Was it Mojang? Was that the original company?
I don't know.
I think that's the original company that owned. Oh, I'm way off on my. Alright, so we need to go that away. You know, it would be smart, guys, if I actually like tagged which one I was going for. There we go. Now I can see that easier. Big Papa Timo's only on his second cup of space coffee today, though, guys. So, but yeah, so it's been an interesting couple of days. We've had Reaper getting sick. Hopefully hopefully Reed's feeling a lot better with the strep.
He is.
Strep is a horrible thing to bring home with the little one.
He said his stomach's, but he is feeling better.
Now, my youngest son, Nathan, my 8-year-old, he is the Minecraft wizard these days. Now, ironically, my 21-year-old son, Colin, good old Zane Potato, our mod that is never here, he is also a Minecraft, he's actually a Minecraft genius. He's part of a huge builders guild that goes out and every time Minecraft tries to do something new or anything else like that, he's part of a group that intentionally breaks the game for the devs. So when they're thinking about doing new stuff, and they are like the alpha testers for it. So he's really good at it. But the 8-year-old has gotten so good at Minecraft. What he does these days is he uses the PC downstairs, and he will watch YouTube on one window. He will play Minecraft on another, and he'll have his tablet going at the same time. Meanwhile, I have trouble finding my coffee cup. But that kid is multitasking so much it's not even funny. So, Devontae, you said you do this as well. Do you bury all of your tech and just leave like the building on the surface? Because I don't want to put anything underground that I'm ever coming back to. So I'm not going to put, like, the teleporter's not going to be down here, nothing else like that's going to be down here. I'm just going to have the storage containers and the pipelines and such down this way. Have they ever fixed the grow back of stuff so that it doesn't come back?
Last I knew they had not, because I actually had, when I popped into one of my old bases the other day, I had some grow back.
I do have to apologize, guys. I was not planning on digging just yet. This was actually supposed to be later in the stream, but you know, squirrels.
Yeah.
You guys got me talking about it, therefore I started to do it. Squirrel. But you guys get the basic gist of what my plans are for the cadmium O2 build site. Excuse me, sorry. Had a little coughing fit there. And not a coffee fit. You know what? Oh, I don't have it on this one because I haven't done the quest. I was thinking I could actually pull out the solar ray and blast through all this, but I wouldn't be getting the silicate powder that way. But if I accidentally hit a node, it would give me the liquid sun. But alas, I haven't done that yet. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to being underneath this one. Almost. Alright, so basically I'm just going to continue blasting out here a little bit. This one is the miner location, so I actually do need to make kind of a big area down here. Now it's an S-class though, so I don't need a ton of miners, and I'm not looking to farm all that much cadmium. If this were an activated indium, this would be a really, really good way to do it, because, you know, being underground solves the problem of hazard protection. But we're on an airless moon, so don't have to worry about it too much. Should have plenty of oxygen to keep Big Papa Timo breathing. Which is a good thing, because if I can't breathe, I can't talk. Alright, so that should be right underneath that. I don't want to make the top ground look like Swiss cheese too much, but I want to make sure that I bring this straight down from where that pad was, because the pad is... that's pretty dang close, actually. That was, in fact, pretty dang close.
Mary's suggesting you make your beam size bigger.
I keep thinking about doing that, and then, you know, didn't want to be a size queen.
North Coast says Mary wants a bigger beam. What's up, North Coast?
What's going on, buddy? Welcome to it.
Mary responded to my comment by saying it just means I need to work on getting my PC faster.
Alright, so if that's the power over there, that's the gas over there. There's my base computer. So that's the direction we want to go with the thumpers. Alright, so let's actually switch to cadmium. There we go. 90, 91, 92, 93. Alright, so this is the hotspot right here. Alright, bigger beam. Wrong button. Wrong button again. I forgot how to make my beam bigger. There we go.
Yeah.
There's a bigger beam for you. Better, Mary? Is that big enough?
If it was, if only it was that easy.
I know, right? Now, of course, you can buy all sorts of things that will tell you that it works this way, but don't believe them.
You've been off ghosted.
I've been off ghosted.
Yep.
Why am I not surprised?
I was thinking about doing that, but I didn't want to be a size queen.
Alright, so we need to do industrial. We need to plop a thumper here. Oh, we don't have metal plating. Duh.
Devontae said he also hides base building units and know that growback still happens.
Alright, so we're going to pop a thumper there. Now, they used to have it so that the thumpers would snap to each other, and they seem to have removed that option, which kind of sucks, because I liked the snap to function before.
Yes. It also made it easier to glitch them.
Yes, it did.
Into one space.
Alright, don't ask me why I came running down underground for this. I could have just gone to the surface first and gone about things that way, but again, second cup of space coffee for the day. And what Big Papa Timo actually needs to do is go someplace else. Because I was unprepared to get to this stage of building, and that was not my intention, guys, so I apologize. Do we have a space station here? No, we do not. We have an anomaly in a ship. So apparently I'm in an unoccupied system, which doesn't surprise me if it's cadmium. But we need to jump someplace that actually does in fact have a space station. Let's go here.
Nothco said men can't easily make it bigger, but women can be traded in for a bigger model. It's not fair.
Well, you know, if you make yourself valuable regardless of your size, you don't get traded in.
It was funny. I used to tell my wife all the time, and she turned pretty big. I was going to trade her in for 218s. And this went on for probably the first 10 years of our marriage, before she finally realized that she could come back with, I turned 36 before she did, so she could trade me in first.
Nice. Ooh, just smacked right into a fighter. I like the mid-space collisions you can do now. Now, see, my wife actually did the opposite thing, because we made the same joke that, you know, I could when she turned 40, I could trade her in for 220s, and she looked me in the eye one night and she's like, "Do you really want to go through all of that training all over again?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh no." She's like, "Do you really want to be associated with 20-year-old women?" And I was like, "Ooh, no, not really."
No, not really.
No. I mean, I have nothing against 20-year-olds, but that's not the best thing in the world for me. My wife and I have been together for a very long time, and we know each other's quirks really, really well. You know, like this morning, I woke up and she had made coffee, and I knew that there was going to be coffee. And she's got some things to do before going to work, but she knew not to ask me because I was going to stream. You know, and yesterday, the state of Pennsylvania had a special Leap Day sale on liquor. It was 10% off, so Big Papa Timo went and got Mama Timo 10% off a bottle of vodka.
Oh, nice.
because the Liquor Control Board never has sales.
They don't ever. I'm actually surprised.
They do it once every 4 years, and it's 10% off on one day. That happens on leap year only. I thought that was pretty slick on their part. It's kind of cheap, but also pretty slick.
Yeah.
Get away from the freighter, you goofball.
Well, to be honest, they kind of have a monopoly. They don't really need to do sales.
That's true. That's true. I mean, certain products do go on sales, but for a store-wide 10% off, yeah, they don't need to do that. They don't need to do that at all.
For those of you who do not live in Pennsylvania, the only place where you can buy alcohol,
Hard liquor,
is at a state-run liquor store. We just call them state stores.
fake boobs suck. Sometimes.
Bad ones do, I guess.
I really don't. Oh, I want to touch on that, and I'm gonna touch on that. So here's my thought on fake boobs. Fake boobs can be really nice to look at. And if the person that has them feels better about themselves because of their artificial breast, power to them. I personally don't like how they feel, regardless of whether or not they're a good set or a bad set. Natural breasts are my preferred method. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Well said.
Alright, so we have a B, whatever, on this one. Black and yellow if you guys are into the mid-size Venator class. And also, just in case if anybody wants that, there are the portal coordinates. Not going to dwell on that one too much. I totally forgot that I haven't warped anywhere in for ages on this account. I should have known that I was going to have a capital engagement right off the bat. Ooh. Alright, well this is only a C class, but this is an interesting... That's an interesting max-size fighter. Let's take a look at that one.
Mary, what is hot damn?
Hot damn is a booze.
Because I don't... I would assume if it is hard liquor, then yes, that's the only place we can get it. But I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's the only place we can get hot damn. And hot damn is a fairly regional booze too. See, we don't really get the hot damn around here. We get everybody drinks Fireball around here.
Fireball.
Which is just a cinnamon spice liqueur type of thing.
I have to give I won't say a shout out, but kudos to Fireball. I used to work for a bar, and we were doing monthly events.
Yeah, I knew I was going to get North Coasted on that one too.
Yeah. We used to do monthly events and parties and whatnot, and we reached out to Fireball, and they came through in spades. They sent us cases of merchandise, like bottle openers and chapsticks and just all sorts of little giveaway type things. And one of the things that was in there was actually a chapstick for Firefly, which was it's a hard iced tea that we don't get around here. But it was actually, the chapstick was really good.
Alright, so Cadmium O2 build site is in fact in my jump menu. Awesome. Now what I wanted to do was I want to see if I have...
Ooh. Alright, so Mary says that hot damn is cinnamon schnapps, usually done in shots. And Davante says hot damn is less sugar than Fireball. I'm gonna have to say probably not. If hot damn is a schnapps, it's definitely going to have a sweeter sweeter taste to it.
No, actually, it doesn't. Hot damn is less sweet than Fireball.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising for a schnapps.
Well, all a schnapps is a method of making the liquor. I don't see what I was actually looking for here. We're going to go to True Door Prime for a moment because I know that that's a wealthy system. And I'm drawing a blank on distilling practices and venting practices and what makes a schnapps at the moment. Somebody wants to Google it, feel free.
Novko says, congratulations, Timo. My phone now auto-completes your whole name for the 2020s.
Nice. Does it have the 2020 after it every time?
He says, right after typing the second quotation mark, I get a list of names.
All right, so what Big Papa Timo is doing here is I'm going to Wealthy Systems and I'm buying ferrite dust and metal plating. I'm also going to check to see if there's anything else that I want from said thingy-majiggers. Alright, and we are in True Dora, so this is actually where I got that ship. Transport actually. No, transport goes to Big Blue. This is where I got Dora. So let's see if we get a Dora land here. She was actually really rare here. And then the Big Blue system was the Tall Dora system. Ooh, look at that one. That's a wide wing. Alright, we're not ship shopping. Squirrel.
Mary says, hot damn has a lot of kick to it. Nothko says, Fedora Prime, home of the Malay. Nothko says, it doesn't complete the year, but soon it will learn. Know your role, phone.
Alrighty, we are in the Tall Dora system now. This is where I got Big Blue. So, Trucker actually brought something to my attention. So I had the first wave exotic system that I got Little Blue at, and I saw an update from shoot, brain fart. I think it was Zane actually posted that now that they have the living ships have kind of messed up first wave exotic systems.
Oh.
Because they basically added a new ship into the ship registry, so they changed all the seeds on everything. And if you have a system that had a first wave exotic where they used to land on the space station, your best bet now is to actually go down to the planetary surface and check to see if it's landing at the station down there in the trade post. But the ship itself should still be in system. And given that the seed was telling it to be a first wave one, it should still... North Ghost is about to quote me again. Come pretty quickly. That's the quote that I need is North Ghost is about to quote me again. Big Papa Timo 2020. Alright, so I needed to get the... ooh, the ferrite dust is coming back quickly, guys. Grab that 168 metal plating. Now, the reason I'm doing this is I could actually just fill up my inventory with ferrite dust, but on survival, it's actually more efficient to put the metal plating in your high-capacity cargo, because they hold stacks of 20. So we're going to move some stuff around here.
So Mary has... Mary had said hot damn has a lot of kick to it, especially if Husbeast gets the gets her the 100 proof, which I have no idea what that means, but it works faster than 50 proof, which I may have just done a shot of the 100 proof. Interesting, Mary, considering it's only 10:45 a.m.
It's
But
5 o'clock someplace. Don't judge.
yep,
We don't
we don't
judge here.
judge.
There she is. Look at that, guys. This is, in fact, the same system as transport. That's a beautiful thing right there, guys. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes Big Papa Timo happy right there.
And proof refers to the alcohol concentration.
100% or 100 proof is actually 50% alcohol.
Yes.
50 proof is 25% alcohol. And you can actually go into places in like Ohio and you can get 30 proof at gas stations.
Which 30 proof?
15%. It's like a strong Canadian beer.
Yeah.
You're really not getting anything. Which actually we've been able to start doing here in Pennsylvania, where you can go to the we also have they're not state stores, they're, what do they call them again? The distributors.
Beer distributor?
The beer distributors. You can go to the beer distributor and now you can buy the really crappy moonshine in a mason jar that's 30 proof. You can get like the apple puckers and stuff like that have alcohol.
You saw it too.
I did.
Yep. No judging, right, Mary? We don't judge here.
We don't judge at all. We don't judge at all.
200 proof alcohol is
Methanol.
Yeah, is ethanol. You actually, it would be poison if you drank it.
All right, so this is not a wealthy system here, guys. There are 4 metal plates at 131. Why is that even in my jump registry?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I've been going a lot of weird places recently.
Now in Pennsylvania, the max you can get at the state store is 151 proof.
Good old 151.
Yep. Had a bad week with 151, but now I know a guy who, yeah, Bacardi 151. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Dave. It was a very bad week.
Or Everclear.
Everclear, yes. Now that's what I was getting at. I know a guy who makes homemade moonshine using Everclear, and he is a veteran, and he still has access to the commissary on base.
Ooh, that is some cheap Everclear.
where not only can he get the cheap Everclear, but he also gets the 190 proof Everclear.
All right, did you guys just see the name of this planet?
Nope, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm on corn dogs.
Corn dogs.
I'm on corn
Nice.
dogs. And this tree is called corn dog. That rock is called corn dog. I'm surprised the frozen tuber's not called. It's a tuba. It's a tuba.
It's a tuba.
I found the tuba. All right,
Step
so
away
somebody
from
has
the
gone
tuba.
and named everything on this planet corn dog. That's
That's dedication.
brilliant.
Yeah, that's dedication. Naming everything corn dog.
But you know what this is? I'm pretty sure this is our activated indium site. It is, because there's your base. There's my base. There's your base. So this is where we were building our community when we did that double build, or we were supposed to do that double build.
So somebody has come in
behind us
after,
and named this planet Corn Dog. And there's a grave right there too. I found a random grave.
Nice.
Not that I need a random grave, but
Dave Vontae says wait until you find Oreo.
ooh, I wonder if there is an Oreo. Wait a minute, that's my base and that's my base. Where's your base? That's also my base. And there's your base, way over there. Okay, so... Yep, this is still, in fact, the same place, because, yep, here's the activated Indian. Sorry, guys, got a little confused. This was that one how long did I spend searching for this site?
2 days, I believe.
Yeah, I went everywhere to look for this so that we could do it. And somebody came in and renamed everything Corn Dog. That is awesome. Because I was positive I discovered this system. But this is saying somebody else discovered it. I wonder if I didn't name, since I didn't actually name the system, it let somebody else discover it too?
I didn't know that. I don't think that is how it works.
Yeah, that shouldn't be possible. Alright, Worthless Failure is the person that discovered this on February 2nd, 2020. No, we did that before this, that. So after the Living Ship stuff dropped, it renamed, it allowed somebody else to come in and rename everything as Corn Dog, though. That is, I like it. I wonder if that's somebody that actually watched the stream too.
I don't know. Northco says it's going to be a shock when you gather your indium and find out it only mines corn dogs now.
Ooh. All right, so I do need to get transport a little closer here. Because I mean, we did show off where this place was, so somebody could have come in behind us. All right, so that's a little disappointing on the amount of indium that I can carry. That's why I'm not rich on this character. That's why I'm not rich on this character. But yeah, that's funny. I want to see. Let's fly up into space and see if Corn Dog strikes anywhere else in this system.
Mary said someone in Sword's chat said someone has found a way to steal discoveries.
Oh, well, this is a prime example because I know for a fact. See, that one was discovered by Reaper. And this is after Reaper came in after me, but Worthless Failure did not, in fact, discover Corn Dogs. So see, I already put 3 bases down on this planet.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have 3 bases on one planet, but I think these were all potential build sites. But I think that's funny that somebody came in here and named everything Corn Dogs. That is actually hilarious to me.
Northco says, wow, really, Mary? Who could do that? Such a person would have to be able to phase through Hello Games servers, wall defenses, and mod them without a trace. That person would have to be a ghost.
Yep, also named Corn Dog. Predator's named Corn Dog.
Nice.
He's eating a corn dog. That's a corn dog eating a corn dog. That was, and he's gonna go for another corn dog. That is one hungry corn dog, guys.
I have to agree with Mary. Mary said that she thinks they should up the amount of stacks on survival just a little. I agree. I don't think it should be the same as permadeath.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be, 9,999, but, even stacks of, say, 1,000.
All right, so Squirrel got distracted again by the corn dogs. If they're using Blender, I'm going to be pissed. Cheating pansies. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, don't hold back.
I don't want to talk to this guy. He's trying to sell me a ship. All right, so that was definitely an interesting, interesting discovery. All right, see, the system itself was discovered by me on 1/4/2020, and somebody came in on 2/2/2020 to change the name to Corndog. Funny. Oh, I appreciate the PG-13 words there, Davante. I don't know about you guys, but I think Davante feels pretty strong about this particular thing. So who is Worthless Failure? That's what I want to know. Well, yeah, they came and got all of my discoveries and named them Corndog. They forgot some. Either that or they missed a few. Alright, so let's, sorry guys, I'm a little distracted by corn dogs here now. See, they didn't get them all. There's Elfinite. We should probably rename some things corn dogs. Or not corn dogs.
Yeah, not corn dog.
What is the opposite of a corn dog?
Hot dog on a stick. I don't know.
Tube steak. We just call them tube steaks. Alright, well, we have the hot dog or the corn dog planet, and we have the tube steak planet. That's pretty funny though. I have to admit that made me smile, guys. All right, so what I want to do here is sell some activated indium and make a quick
12 mil. Although it is it's funny that they named everything corn dog. It is a little disconcerting.
That they could come in and grab my discovery and swap it out?
Yeah.
I concur. Whoops, I meant to buy all of this.
Devontae said veggie dog.
Ew. I mean, I'm all for vegetables and stuff like that, but you don't need to make them into...
Mary said name it Oreo.
Okay. That's the winner right there. That's the winner right there.
Northco says veggie hot pocket.
Hot pocket.
Every time I hear somebody say hot pocket, it makes me think of Jim Gaffigan.
Lava pockets. Well, that's a neat looking critter. There's a perfect Oreo right there.
Deep fried Oreo. Devontae said open up your discoveries. It looks like you can overwrite everything. Like even the corn dogs.
What do you mean?
Like the stuff that dude named. Can you rename it?
No. I can report it or hide it.
Oh.
We have an Oreo and we have a flying Oreo. Now I can't rename everything. See, I can't do this.
Wait, now Northco's. Yeah.
See, I'm pushing the buttons.
The buttons are not working.
Alright, so let's rename this one Ground Oreo. Alright guys, couldn't resist. I'm not going to sit there and make you guys watch me rename everything, but that would be pretty funny.
Welcome back, Patrice.
Welcome back, welcome back. And your PHU in the what? Even the WTF got messed up on that one day, don't they?
Yeah.
WFT. Alright, so I actually need to find a wealthy system. Kong Kong. We're going to Kong Kong. Squirrels. Alrighty. This has turned into an interesting day, guys. Kong Kong. Access the matrix here real quick. Go to our sell menu. It's only 1 million? That sucks. Alright, well we can definitely sell the frozen tubers because it is in fact a tuber.
Sell the tubas.
Sell the storm crystal. I really need that. Alright, so let's get back to where we were. We were at Cadmium O2. There we go. Cadmium O2 build site. No worries, Davante. I just I did 3 creatures or 2 creatures and a rock on that planet. I named the crab Oreo, I named the flyer Flying Oreo, and I named one of the rocks Ground Oreo, just for you. I'm gonna start doing that from now on. Just I'm gonna find any black looking round rock on the planet and name it Oreo.
Nice.
Find random systems, name them Oreo. Although I gotta admit, Corn Dog that's pretty damn funny actually. Well, what the hell? Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Uh-oh. Did it grow back already?
It did. And this is Hello Game's answer to people leaving holes all over planetary surfaces on community missions. Where if you don't save a base, the holes grow back really quickly now. Because I left and teleported away. Alright, well, that kind of puts a damper on that particular build. Because honestly, this particular planet was not where I wanted to be doing a stream build. While I like cadmium and everything else like that, that's not my primary focus. That's a very pretty purple planet. Why is it not coming up on scan? Good old new flavor. I did not name that. I'm actually kind of surprised that there was an unknown planet here. Alright, so my ship is still here. Oh, I got lost there for a second. Let's go map Uman Minor real quick. Can't have one unknown planet here. It's not how this works, not how any of this works. I could, of course, go back to Corndog and build the base that I'm supposed to build there. That was funny, though.
Yeah, Devante says you can't leave while building underground.
Good to know. Good to know. I hit the wrong button again, guys. No worries, no worries. I'm pretty sure if I had hit save on the base computer, because I did put a thumper underground. So I am actually going to have to go find that damn thing.
Oops.
There is, in fact, a thumper underground doing nothing because it got no power. Now, Devante, do you do that with all of your bases, or just some of the bases, or just the hostile bases? What do you do?
Warning. Threat detected. Hostile ships approaching.
They sent an asymmetrical explorer after me. How'd that work out for you? There's my combat frigate, guys. Which is surprisingly not doing very well against this ship. Normally my combat frigate whacks the crap out of these things. There we go. Dead fake Thora. Alright, let's go land on this planet and get this one mapped real quick. Maybe we'll name something Corn Dog. I used to be so sure that if you landed on a planet and scanned one or two things that it always locked it in place for you, but apparently that's not the case anymore. Not the case anymore. I wonder if they had to, like, report the name of the planet or something. I don't know. I'm confused now. Might have lost Reaper for a couple minutes to doing dad duties, guys. You got real quiet real quick.
Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Just figured you were doing daddy things.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with daddy things. All right. So,
I have in fact looked.
I didn't catch any of that. The audio broke out on me.
I said I did in fact locate the phone.
Oh, nice. All right, we actually wanted to expand. We didn't want to jump in. Let me find a wealthy system to jump to here.
Let's see. Patrice says, Squirrel, he called back to tell me they're going to release the original Ghostbusters figures.
What?
Her son called to let her know that they are going to release the original Ghostbuster figures.
As a re-release, or are they like remanufacturing the original series? Is that what we're saying? Or are they like, did they find a massive store of the original ones? Inquiring minds want to know, Patrice Marie. Come on.
Type faster.
I need my Egon, damn it. I need my Egon. Do, Ray, Egon. Love Ghostbusters.
Dave Ante says most, but some I build them in a sub-basement where I build the base above ground. Bring walking down to cover all my power and factory stuff, but the main gathering items will be buried.
Right on. Now, see, I don't do a lot of building anymore. When I first started playing No Man's Sky, I know I've probably told all of you guys this a few times, but when I first started playing and I got hooked up with the UAS, I tried to keep up with Sword on base building. We were going around a bunch of different planets and trying to do depots for the UAS, and I got really burnt out on base building. And to this day, it's still not my favorite thing in the world to do. I do like building my own personal depots every once in a while. Like I was doing a ton of the activated indium ones so that I could get rich or die trying. Sorry, I had to drop that reference in there just for gits and shiggles.
Republic of William is in the house.
Welcome. Why can I not?
He wants to know if the living ship novelty is worn off yet.
Yes. Alright, so I can do 46 more metal plating. I don't feel a need to. Let me actually see if I have any bases on the survival save. I don't even know, other than the activated indiums. Well, let's go to second. Sure, why not? Yes, William, we actually decided, or I decided, to not even stream on a save that has a living ship on this one. So we're not going to encounter any living ships today. We're not going to look at any living ships today. We're not even going to breathe around living ships today. Not that I still love them. I think they're a great update. But I'm getting a little tired of them. I'm definitely getting a little tired of content about them. Because it's all the same stuff. It's a bunch of people pulsing around in different directions, not getting upgrades. That's pretty boring.
Republic of William says he's been working. Egg ship yet?
All right, so this is this is actually kind of an elaborate build for me. And I think I did this because this was a community mission one. That's because I never use flags. And I think for some odd reason for a community mission, I had to use flags. And I had to put different things up. So yeah, this is not a very good base. Don't get me wrong, guys. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. That was a community mission base, but I really don't. I don't enjoy building anymore. which is a shame. And I didn't even wait for the nanites on that one. There you go. What I was hoping to do is actually find one that I kind of at least liked. This is not it. I don't like this base. Let's go someplace else. That is... Alright, see, they were supposed to fix this. Watch this. This is not supposed to pop up on your menu anymore. This was specifically in the patch notes. So they had the glitch that allowed you to return through the teleporter to the base that you were currently at. And I just went from second into the teleporter to second. Good job, Hello Games, for not patching what you said you patched.
Yeah.
Lurking playing Minecraft? Right on, right on. No worries, no worries. And now, of course, it's taking forever to teleport to the same teleporter that I just teleported to.
Yeah, it's a little bit of inception there.
I know, I might have broke the game. And boom, see? Same place. Chris, version 29. Alright, that's a little doofy. That's a little doofy. Alright, so let's see what we have to do. Alright, cadmium build site, you guys have already seen that one. Magfair build site, activated indium mining site, indium O2 deep mine. Let's go to the indium, because that's, I mean, I named them very specifically what they are, so I know what to find. I don't like this base, though. Here I am. I don't like this base. Vikine I am. That's alright. Little green eggs and Vikine. Vikine
And
eggs and ham.
Devontae jumps in with the NMS trader.
I don't like it with jelly. I don't like it with grape. I don't like it even smoked up with Zane's vape. Right on. Alright, so this was also, well, this one was an early one, but this is my Calcishroom planet. This is actually one of my favorite bases. But this is what I was going to hide underground. Would be something like this. So you've got all these thumpers, which actually they did... Nope, that's still pretty loud even that far away. That's not too bad right there. But yeah, you can see that these were all snapped together. Because they are perfectly placed, touching each other. Can't do that anymore. But when I build bases, this is pretty much what I do, is I will build a ton of the cargo things. There's another one over in the distance over there, that's the gas. And then just a little shack for doing something like that. Very utilitarian. The fact that this even has a teleporter and power is kind of funny. 7,750 oxygen, 69,500 indium. Right on. Alright, let's do this a different way, actually. I know, William, I said that we weren't going to see a living ship, smell a living ship, be anywhere near a living ship, but we might inadvertently run into one. We're going to switch saves. Because we are going to go to our regular normal save. We'll do a base tour. Sure, why not? Oh my goodness, guys. I'm out of space coffee. There is no more space coffee.
No.
And I
The
smell
end of all
popcorn
things.
for some reason. Why do I smell popcorn?
I don't know.
All right, we can't avoid a living ship on this save because I'm currently in one. No worries. I has a solution.
So I have to tell you, I've told you before, Timo, that I installed a pellet stove in my dining room this year as my main heat source. And I also have a dog. She's a Boston Terrier. And I'm sitting here at my dining room table, and my dog is currently parked right in front of the pellet stove, looking around at everybody like, what?
Now, is she blocking heat from everybody else?
No, she's not blocking heat.
She's
She's not tall enough. Yeah, she's comfortable. And yeah, she just keeps looking around at everybody like, what? I'm not doing anything.
So what we did with Bingo, we have a Basset Hound Beagle mix. Bingo's getting old. Bingo is 15 years old, at least that we know of. We have no idea how old he truly is because he was a rescue. We think he was probably 2 or 3 when we got him, so he's actually probably 17, 18 years old now. We have electric heaters all over our house. Because, you know, we live in Western Pennsylvania, we live in a 120-year-old house. It's got some drafty spots and everything, and with him getting older, we didn't want him to catch a chill. So he's got his own electric heater that points right at his bed.
Nice.
Now, we also have 4 cats. 3 cats don't like the dog at all. They totally ignore him. They just leave him alone. They stay away from him. He's the big stinky dog. And then we have Peanut. Peanut is our cat that thinks he's a dog. Peanut is all about love, and he just wants love and attention all the time. He's also a really fat tabby. He will specifically go lay down right in Bingo's spots because he knows there's a heater pointed to it. So he will lay down in the stink of the dog on the dog's floor mat. You know, we have one of those little bed mats that you put down. And he gives 0 Fs. He will smell like a dog all day long. It is so funny. Alright, so... Ooh, you know what we should do? If we're gonna build, we should probably do landing. That's what we should work on. Now let's go to high reaches real quick, just to refresh our memory on what we've actually built there. You hate your phone. You have hot dog, you need buns. I know, guys, I'm actually thinking I might need to go do something about the space coffee shortage. Not exactly sure, though. Has anybody heard from Zane recently? Do we know if he's going... Is he streaming today? Is he not streaming today?
I have not. He.
Alright, so this is Belias, one of the planets. So this is actually a little bit more ornate of a planetary base. More reminiscent of the depots I used to build. We actually have some landing pads here. We have some biodomes, and I don't even know what's in those back ones. Let's go take a look.
Dave Monte wants to know if that is from Pern.
Yes, it is. Belias is one of the planets of the Pern system. We are actually in the dark water system as we speak. Ow, what the hell? What just hit me inside my own base?
I'll let you know in 20 seconds.
I know, right? Sorry, I'm watching the stream now too because I want to see. No, just I turned and something whacked me.
I think it was fall damage.
It was just a delayed reaction to the fall damage.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Oh.
I see tubers. Frozen tubers. Alright guys, Big Papa Timo has a couple problems. Frozen tubers is one of them. I never do anything with the frozen tubers, I just have to pick them up because it's a tubo. Alright, so getting back to the Pern reference though, it's actually really hard to find any information about the solar system that Pern resides in. Because it was more fan fiction than anything else. And then Anne McCaffrey didn't really write too much about the system itself. She did, before she passed away, she did one short novella about the discovery of the system. And then her son, Todd McCaffrey, did another one about it. So he fleshed it out a little bit more. It actually, I had to go and get a fan book, the Atlas of Pern, basically. And the majority of the book, 95% of the book, is about the planet itself, all the flora and fauna on Pern, the different holds and different personalities and everything. It was a guide to all that, but there was in fact a solar system map that showed all the planets and their rotations and everything else like that. And that was the only time I actually got all of the names for all of the planets in the system. Alright, but this, I just took fall damage again. So this is landing. This is the one I really need to spruce up. Because this base is just seriously, seriously lacking. Alright, so this was built right before Beyond... well, actually, I don't want to say right before. This is built right after Next. So... it was supposed to be my home planet, where I was going to have a lot of things like the capillary shells. Like, these are actually super, super rare ones because they're white. They're not pink or yellow. Ooh. I have the electric cubes. I have the terbium balls. I was going to have a whole bunch of other things in here. And I actually had the glitched Galactic Trade Terminal and a bunch of other stuff. And then they came out with the updates, and now I don't have power to anything. But I do have Nip Nip Buds. But I can't harvest because I have insufficient power. So I can't even smoke my own Nip Nip Buds. Horrible, horrible, horrible problem to have. So I need to plant this here. I did come back and actually put enough power into this to power the teleporter, but see, this is no bueno. I've got a power line just shooting through here. That's not good, so we might have to fix that. That's actually a pretty easy fix right off the bat.
Yes, Zane is in fact streaming at 2 p.m.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I wasn't sure if he had a special update or anything goofy. And it's always better to know beforehand. Ah! Wow. Just glitched through the floor. Alright, Big Papa Timo's not having the best time right now. Everything's glitching in, glitching out. I think I might be way too close to the portal too.
Kind of looks that way.
Yeah, I'm picking up issues from the portal.
Good morning, Twiggy.
Hey Twiggy, how you doing, hon? Alright, so this planet's actually making me mad right now. I think we're gonna teleport someplace else. Let's go to the Londonian tree for a moment. They really need to forking add the system names to the portals and the station 2. Yeah, that would actually be helpful. What I would like is the ability to adjust our teleporter list. Because when you go to all these different stations, like doing the living ship stuff, I've been teleporting to probably 50 new systems in the last week. And if you land on the station, it adds it to your teleporter list. So that pushes someplace you normally go off of your list if you have as many of them as I do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'll show you how many teleporters I have on my station list alone is the max number. So every time I go someplace new, it pushes somebody off the list. Alright, so we're at Londinium Tree. Ooh, hello. I don't normally come to Londinium, but when I do, I build Christmas trees. What do you guys think?
What's up, Craft Brew?
That was my Londinium holiday special.
One of the many trees that you built.
Yes. One of the many, many, many trees that Big Papa Timo built. But since we're here, let's go test something out too. That was another patch fix. I wonder if I have enough jetpack to get up here. Alright, so let's look at the terminal real quick. Alright, so if I just switch this just to space stations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they give you 14 tabs of space stations. 5 on every one. So that's a total of 70 stations that you can keep on your list. Now if you look at my discoveries, let's back up there. I've been to way more than 70 different places. If we just look at Sodeld, I don't even know how to pronounce that one. This one was discovered by me. Why doesn't it show the date? These are all things that I've been to within just the last couple days. These are all places I've been for living ships. The first 3, because there's one that I remember finding on stream because that was a lovely name for a procedurally generated planet. And this was probably one of the last places I was at before the living ships came out. So that's pretty much pushed the majority of my places I wanted to go off of here. I don't even recognize any of these names. Except for the
Yeah,
symbols.
I think you should be able to like
Prioritize which ones.
Yeah, mark certain ones.
Now, if you have a base in a system, it actually doesn't drop it off the list. as easily. You have to really push it to get it to go off of there. But see, this should actually, if this was the way that I wanted it, what it would look like would be, no, actually, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Oh, I see what's going on here. So most of these ones here, you see that they all have names? It reset all of the names on everything again. Oh my goodness. Come on, guys.
I apologize for that. I said your audio. It's Discord. The audio on Discord is terrible.
Oh, I just went underwater? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly when
It
I'm
came
looking
back.
at something with a pulse or a warp type of a thing. What I notice here, though, guys, is that all of these should actually be named something like supply 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, up to supply 20. Except for Frigida Bus. This is one of our favorite systems. I don't know why we all have Fujita Bus in our thing, but
It's right next to.
is that right next to Londinium?
Yeah.
Wow, that makes sense. Alright, the other thing that I wanted to test was I want to find... well, we have Lone Pine Space. I'm looking for the sword base that's over here. Let's go to MSG's base.
Mad Scottish Geck.
Nope, I don't want to go to Lord Winter. I want to go to Mad Scottish Geck. It's going to take me to Lord Winter's base. No.
Hey, Shard Vixen. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, how you doing, Shard? We appreciate the support. We definitely do. Thank you very much. Are you going live on Twitch, Shard? Oh, Mad Scottish Gex base just suddenly appears. There we go. He's got a landing pad too. Shard Vixen might have already dipped out. You guys like watching Twitch stuff? Pretty sure Shard Vixen does Twitch streams. Really? What in the name of all that is holy? Oh my goodness. I might be stuck here, guys.
Ugh.
Did he leave me a way out? He did. Thank you, Mad Scottish Geck.
She said yes soon. She streams to four platforms. Excuse
Oh,
me.
sweet. Thank you much. Alright, so... the complexity on this is driving my PS4 nuts, guys. Sorry. I was hoping to get a better look at Mad Scottish Geck's space here. But as you can see with this, it's not all rendering in correctly.
Shard Vixen says in a couple weeks, though, she'll be able to watch our Sunday streams as she's changing the times when she streams.
Oh, right on, right on. What are you playing today? Or what are you streaming today?
There's our living ship peeing all over the place.
That's a neat looking base. It's a shame it's not all rendering in. Alright, let's see if we can actually go in the building without falling through the floor this time.
I'm getting chocolate milk. Oh wait, I forgot that.
I walked right into a wall. That was cute.
Shard Vixen says she really wants to catch us playing Conan, but she hasn't been able to as of yet. That's something that I don't know about Timo, but I'm going to be streaming some Conan probably later on in the week. I've got some adulting to do.
It's going to be one of those adulting kind of weeks.
Yeah.
Feeling. Alright, well, as much as I love Mad Scottish Keck, his base is trying to kill me.
We have more meetings tomorrow for Reed. Tuesday, I actually have my startup meeting for work.
Ooh. That's right, the season is rapidly approaching for you guys.
Yes, it is.
Everybody, get down!
Alright, this is normally how Londinium tries to kill me, guys, is I will take off the planet and I get 4 sets of ships come streaming in real quick. This is how I broke Reaper stream.
Yeah. Journey to the Savage Planet.
Right on, right on. Well, have a good time playing, have a good stream. Alright, we need to get away from Londinium. These rendering issues are driving me nuts-a-rumma.
Shard when she goes Tuesdays and Thursdays for streaming, she'll go back to 4 games per week. Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy. Which Final Fantasy?
Ooh. There's a good question. Let's go to dope. Dope. Peace.
Yep. Deuces.
Deuces. I always forget what I was actually at this particular base. I don't know why I gave it the Homer dope. And I always forget. Which is probably why I leave it named dope, because I forget every time. It's probably just probably not even a teleporter here, it's probably just a base computer. Rainbow, how you doing, hon? Welcome.
What's up, Rainbow?
Oh, okay, this is why this one's dope. This one is growing back, everybody. Not only is it growing back, I don't know. Oh, I do have a door. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Shard Vixen is currently playing Final Fantasy VII, the original, right now. Then she'll do the remake, then on to 8, 9, 10, 10-2, 12, 13, 13-2, and 15.
Nice. Alright, so here's
Yeah,
what Big
wife-
Papa Timo is going to do. I'm going to jump in this living ship for just a couple minutes. And I'm going to take a break for nature. I'll be back in just a few. You guys, Final Fantasy.
Rainbow would skip the 13s and 15. I don't know much about the Final Fantasies. You tried 14, but you couldn't get it to work on my PS4. Now, she plays on PS4. So I'm not sure why you couldn't get it to work. Now, 14 is very World of Warcraft-esque type game. It's very involved. Nice. In 1991 on the Nintendo. Yeah, that's strange. Your favorites are 1, 7, 8 for the music, 9 because the characters are so cute. 12, 13 was very grinding, but well, if grinding is your thing, you're in the right place. A lot of the games we play are very grindy. No Man's Sky, Conan, Farming Simulator. And I never played dress up with my dolls. Way too linear. Charlie's Angels Final Fantasy Edition. Ah, you're playing Atlas on Xbox? Atlas I haven't played yet. I was super hyped for Atlas to come out, and then it kind of tanked at launch.
Weather warning. Incoming storm.
Coffee's brewing. Not even with G.I. Joe. I usually blew them up. The only dress up I play with my G.I. Joes was straight jackets and handcuffs. Ooh. Atlas's Ark with pirates. It's a work in progress, but fun if you like Ark. I really liked Ark. So, I am going to play Atlas, but I think I'm going to wait until it gets a little better. Yeah, see, I'm with Tebow. I dress my G.I. Joes with M80s. Which sadly you can't get in Pennsylvania anymore. Bottle rockets was always fun. But see, I was the type of... It wasn't just wanting destruction. I would put bottle rockets on them and then make little makeshift parachutes to see if I could save them after I shot them into space. Shard Vixen didn't do much dress up with Barbies. We set her to war with G.I. Joe. I dressed up my cat a lot when I was a child. Poor cat. Contrary to popular belief, they do not like to be dressed up. Final Fantasy 12 or 10-2, I'm sorry, is fun as long as you understand the power circle is all about the dresses they wear.
Weather update. Storm clearing.
I apologize for the extended absence there, guys, but there was not coffee brewing when I went downstairs.
Shard Vixen said my cat did, so there. He was like Peanut's cat. You could drape him on your shoulders and take him anywhere.
Yeah, that's like our Peanut. He'll let you take him anywhere you want, do anything as long as you give him attention. He's happy with it.
Units received.
All right, so I'm going to take a quick squirrel break here and try and find that red dot. There's a life form that I have not identified yet.
Oh no.
What am I flying into here? I found the biggest cliff face on the planet, apparently.
Huh.
Where did the red dot go? There it is.
Alright, well, since you are back, I'm going to step away for a few minutes, take some more medicine.
Whoa, look at this guy. Look at that, guys. That is one giant crab. Oh my god.
Ooh. Yep, I will be back in a few minutes.
Whoa. How big is he? 8.2 meters. There you go. That is the big ones. Let's snap a quick pic of him. Let's actually go out into first person first, or third person, so that we can actually get in that picture with him. That is a nice one. I'm loving it. Alright, apologies for the blue screen, but this is the only way I can take the screenshots with my current setup. And let's send this to messages not available. Why not? What the heck? Why can I not? Alright, well, it took the picture, at least. And let's go to this guy. Alright, so it has reset all of my things here. What is going on? Let's rename them. Alright, what's going on here?
Alert. Navigational data received.
That's what she said? Totally, that's what she said. Why is this not letting me rename and upload? Alright, Big Papa Timo is about to get angry at the PlayStation. I'm assuming you guys can still hear me. If somebody could confirm or deny that, that would be awesome. Looking at the stream, it is in fact still live. What is going on with my PlayStation? Well, we've learned the GEC word for crashed, appropriate, because I believe the PlayStation Network has in fact crashed. That's the only explanation I can think of for this. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I apologize for the squirreliness of this particular broadcast. My brain is not in the right place today. And while I had things that I wanted to do, GEC word for crime, kind of been distracted by just about everything super easily. Pwn Stream, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to it. Welcome to it. We got 9 people watching, 11 thumbs ups. You guys are amazing. Whoever's using your toes, I really appreciate it. That's awesome. Been going through an awful lot of fun stuff, real life wise, computer wise, game wise. Getting ready to make some changes on how things are done in my real life and on here. GEC word for dirt, another good word. Got another life form that I scanned a long time ago, but wasn't in there. But, you know, I'll take the free money. Oh wait, I'm back on my regular save, so that is not free money because I am unit capped again. But yeah, so today's turned into kind of a goofy stream. But I have not lost my renewed interest in No Man's Sky. I'm looking forward to whatever future updates we get, because I know we're getting something soon. I just don't know what it is. My personal preference would be for more spacey things. There's a lot of stuff keeps popping up on the experimentals. And they're testing a whole bunch of stuff, so we'll see. Not going to harp on the freighter-to-freighter combat, because we all know that's what Big Papa Timo really, really wants to see. But the direction of the game, I think, is definitely going someplace super, super positive. I've been talking to a bunch of other streamers recently, too, that are... a lot of strange things are going on with a bunch of other games, you know, a bunch of the popular console streaming games, because we're getting closer and closer to the release of the new Xbox and the release of the new PlayStation. So a lot of the game creators, the actual gaming companies, are being a little bit tight-lipped about what their plans are, because they're pretty much stuck under the non-disclosure agreements with Sony and Microsoft about what they can and can't say before they give total specs on the new PS5 and the Xbox, what are they calling it? The Xbox X? So until we actually get all the details on those two game systems, the consoles themselves, a lot of game companies are being pretty squirrely themselves. But I like the fact that Hello Games is still doing a lot of updates with No Man's Sky in the meantime. Because honestly, they could have basically just said, you know, hey, look, we're not going to release anything until the new PlayStation comes out or the new Xbox comes out. Because we don't want to have to, you know, port everything over, blah, blah, blah. Where did that thing go? There it is. All right, salvage container. Let's dig. I get a feeling we're not going to find this one. But Hello Games is definitely pushing stuff out, which is awesome. Oop. Let's switch to a mining beam. Get rid of that guy. And I'm still having fun. Corrupted Sentinel detected. You don't say. Alright, rare item found. Rusty Reservoir. It's only 958 years old. But as I was saying, I've been a little distracted by the things that I'm doing and going on and everything else like that. And hopefully it hasn't made these boring or anything. Where did my corrupt sentinel get off to? Oh, he went away. He went bye-bye. Subterranean relics. Let's go get some buried tech. Ooh. Bounce. And of course I have my fabulous jetpack. It's fabulous. I think I'm gonna have to learn how to do the No Man's Sky shuffle at some point in time, guys. Let's see if I can really do some damage to myself jetpacking around. Did that say my inventory was full? It did. Oh, that's right, because I'm on the normal one. I didn't bother to switch anything out. Bad Timo. Bad Timo. Alright, so let's do this the smart way. Let's go find a spot we can land a ship. That'll do, Timo. That'll do. Let's bring something other than a living ship in here. Let's bring Dora down. We got 12 thumbs ups. Somebody used another toe. Alright, let's go ahead and let's move some of this stuff there. Yep, frozen tubers. Told you I have a tuber problem. Let's clear out the inventory just ever so slightly. Make sure the cargo, yep, I was getting into cargo spaces.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
I got squirreled again and went off on a totally different tangent.
You don't say.
Totally forgot what I was squirreling out about, and then what I realized was I wanted to touch on the whole M80 bottle rocket thing, because pretty sure I told you this story, but I don't know if I told our viewers. So when I was a kid, I used to have a lot of G.I. Joes. G.I. Joes were by far and away my favorite toy in the world. I was a big fan of the show, big fan of the action figures, big fan of just, you know, doing whatever you could with G.I. Joes. And my parents divorced when I was relatively young, and my father felt that the best way to be a dad was to basically buy my brother and I lots of gifts. That's how he was a dad. Now my mother raised us, and mad props and kudos to my mom, because as a single parent back in the 80s, being a single mom raising two boys was really, really hard. And my mom did an excellent job on it, or at least I'd like to think she did an excellent job on it. So we were never, there were plenty of times we were wanting for things, but she provided the best she could. So we always had everything that we needed. My dad, on the other hand, once they split, he had more disposable income than my mother did, because he was a tenured professor at a college. He had been well established, and since he wanted to buy things, he would buy me lots of GI Joes. And of course, my mom would try and give me everything that she could, so she would buy me GI Joes as well. And GI Joes back in the 80s were not cheap. Compared to these days, the prices are actually pretty much the same. The actual price of a GI Joe figure is the same now as it was back in 1985. With inflation, though, they should be a lot more. So, you figure a $5 figure should be $25 now. These guys are huge.
Hashtag Dino Pancake.
Yeah, no kidding. Crab pancakes. Crab cakes. Hashtag crab cakes. So my mom would buy these things, and I always forgot who bought which one. So my father would buy like 4 or 5 GI Joes, and then my mom would make sure that when she bought me one, she would always buy the ones that I wanted the most. She would pay attention to which character I wanted. And the one in particular that I liked was Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes was my favorite. I liked his character. I liked the way that he looked. And I also liked Scarlet. Always had a thing for the redheaded women. So those were the ones that I wanted, and my father would go the opposite route. He would just buy me 4 or 5 random GI Joes. But my mom heard that I wanted the glider. And the glider was this little piece of foam that turned into a glider that you could strap a GI Joe guy to. And you could throw it like a paper airplane, and they actually flew. They flew fairly well. And I got a hold of some bottle rockets one day, and I taped 6 or 8 bottle rockets to one of these gliders, and I put my Snake Eyes on there, and I sent Snake Eyes on a mission where I launched him, and that thing took off like crazy. Oh my god, that thing was pretty much, whoever designed that glider knew that it would fly okay if you threw it like a paper airplane, but they knew that if you strapped 6 or 8 bottle rockets to it, that thing would just take off like a bat out of hell. So whoever designed that, kudos to you for probably going out during development of the toy and strapping bottle rockets to it, because they knew what every 10-year-old kid like me was going to do.
Oh, yeah.
What I didn't realize is back in the 80s, that thing was $30 for this foam glider. And the Snake Eyes that I got was a special edition Snake Eyes with the cool extra visor, came with an extra katana, came with all sorts of different parts. So my mom had spent $10 on this Snake Eyes, twice the price of a regular GI Joe. And I strap 8 bottle rockets to this thing, and it takes off, goes above the houses, and explodes 100 feet up in the air. Snake Eyes goes flying into his constituent parts, which meant, the rubber band inside of him broke, so his torso came detached from his pelvis, his legs went flying in different directions. His arms still stayed attached to the torso, but pretty much Snake Eyes was, he was screwed.
Obliterated.
He was obliterated, and he landed on top of the houses. Now, I lived in a group of townhouses at the time. These were 3-story townhouses. There was no easy way up to the roof. They were too tall. And, there were 16 houses in a group, and we didn't live in the nicest neighborhood, so my neighbors didn't really appreciate the fact that I was out there with bottle rockets and GI Joes blowing stuff up above their house. So nobody was going to help me get this back. So I climbed up onto the roof of the house, went out the window on the 3rd floor, and through a true act of daring, went to go get this stuff. Got it all back, tried in vain to put Snake Eyes back together. There was no fixing the glider. The glider was extremely destroyed. It was in little teeny chunks. And my mother came home from work, and the little neighbor kid that I had never had a good relationship basically ratted me out before my mom even got out of her car. This little shit was telling on me. And so my mom was pissed off when she comes in the house because she's heard that I had just blown up some 40 some odd dollars worth of her gift with bottle rockets. She was also really pissed off that I had bottle rockets. I wasn't supposed to be playing with fireworks, but I had destroyed this. So my mom was very, very upset. And she made me promise that I was not going to keep, that, I would never try this again, that I would never play with fireworks ever again. The things that moms try and get their kids to agree with, that there was no way I could ever live up to this promise, because I still had more bottle rockets she didn't know about, and I was sure as shit going to play with them. But she did make me promise to never blow up another G.I. Joe that she had bought for me. And something that, looking back on it years later, was actually kind of vindictive on my mom's part. She wanted me to blow up anything that my father had given me.
Yeah.
Because there was not nearly as much thought. Now, she didn't tell me that your father doesn't think about you the same way, type of thing. These were all things that... no, I love my dad, don't get me wrong. I love my father to death, but Dad's method of parenting was materialistic. And I get it that he didn't know any better, and he was at least trying to show his love, but my mom was right that she had put a lot of thought into these gifts and had actually made a significant financial sacrifice to specifically get me 2 toys that she couldn't really afford at the time, but that she knew that I really, really wanted, and I destroyed them. So I felt bad as a kid. I feel bad now as an adult and a parent. But from that point on, I was very careful as to which of my G.I. Joes got strapped to bottle rockets. So Scarlet survived the encounter. She never had a bottle rocket stuck to her. Lady J, on the other hand, not so lucky. Dad bought me the Lady J, and Lady J bit it rough. She met an untimely end with an enemy.
Now, wasn't there another G.I. Joe story you were telling me about the Cobra jet and some D-cell rocket motors?
Actually, it was not the Cobra jet that I put the D-cells in. It was the G.I. Joe jet, the F-15 Strike Eagle. My father, getting back to this, like getting back to the whole story of Christmas time was always interesting, and my brother, who is several years older than me, he figured out that he could pretty much milk my dad for anything he wanted, especially around Christmas time. We spent 1 weekend a month at my father's, and then we spent the summers and Christmas vacation with him. So my brother figured out that he could pretty much get... hold on, let me... Got an animus beam for you. Where is the... Come here, Predator. You're still gonna die. Ooh, he's quick. Let me kill this thing real quick, and then I'll get back to my story, guys. Ooh, he doesn't want to die. Should probably use an actual weapon. There we go. Got some fragmented qualia I'm never going to use ever again. So my father, what he would do was, if my brother asked for something for Christmas, my father's response to parenting was the boys had to be equal, because he only had 2 kids, me and my older brother. Now I'm the middle of 9 children.
No, let me apologize to Twiggy for all the spinning that you're doing on stream currently.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry. And Davante, too, if that caused motion
Yeah,
sickness.
that was me. Yeah, that was kind of making me a little...
Yeah, I should have just grabbed a weapon and shot that thing instead of trying to do the animus beam. So my father's response was that if one child got $100 worth of stuff for a present, the other child also had to get $100 worth of stuff. Now, I did not have the best idea of money and the value of things. And I didn't really think of those things, but my older brother did. So, my brother John, um, what he figured out was that since my father felt that buying gifts was the best way to be a dad, one Christmas my brother decided to ask for an entire list of all of his music. Now, my brother's an audiophile. I think at the time he asked for 50 records.
Ooh.
Now, at the time, your average record was about $5 a piece. But some of the ones that my brother asked for, he was asking for like box sets and higher end LPs and stuff like that. And if you guys don't remember vinyl from the 80s and stuff, $10 was actually pretty cheap for a box set vinyl. CDs had just started to come out, and they were your average CD was what, $14, $15 to $35 a piece, depending on
Yeah.
which one it was. CDs were really expensive back then. So my brother asked for 50 LPs, and my father, in his infinite wisdom, spent a month going to every record store in and around Washington, D.C. and Baltimore to find everything on my brother's list. And it came out to be every bit of $700
Oh, wow.
for all of these 50 albums. I don't even know why I'm in the ship right now because I have hazard protection for hood weather.
That's the storm is actually tanking your audio.
Oh, well, let me get back in here. Because this is an important story, guys. All right, so my father buys $700 worth of stuff for my brother, and I had asked for maybe $100 worth of toys for this year, and that was like stretching it. You know, I wanted like 20 GI Joes. Oh my God, that was a lot of things. Actually, I think I wanted like 10 GI Joes and one really big Lego set. So my father tells me that I needed to ask for more stuff. I needed to put more things on my Christmas list. So I think I put 2 more big Lego sets on there, which like doubled what I was asking for, and I was still only at $200. And I didn't know what to do, what to ask for. There were toys that, you know, I would ask my mother for and be like, Mom, you know, I really want this. And my mother was always very, very honest with me. She would say, you know, I understand that you want this, and she would really want to get it for me, but that particular toy was $100 all by itself. She couldn't afford to do it just yet. She would start to save up for a special occasion. So if I had asked for the Cobra Rattler, which was the Cobra airplane for G.I. Joe. It looked like an A-10 Warthog, but it had the wings that turned so it could do vertical takeoff and landing, although it didn't do it in real life, but, you know, whatever. If I had asked for that around Christmas time, she would be perfectly honest and say, you know, I can't get it for you now. How about for your birthday? And I would have to wait 4 months. But she would still do everything in her power to do this. So I took a chance. I had all of these toys that I really, really wanted that I knew my mom could not afford to get for me. And my dad's pretty much telling me, you haven't gotten enough stuff, you need more stuff. What do you really, really want? So I asked for the Cobra Rattler. I asked for the G.I. Joe Tomcat, the F-15 Tomcat. I asked for the G.I. Joe base. Now each one of these was, the Rattler was like $60. The G.I. Joe plane was like $120. The base was like $200. I really thought my dad was just going to say, oh, can't have all this stuff. I'll get you some of it, blah, blah, blah. So that Christmas morning, I woke up and little Timo had the best Christmas of his life because everything I asked for, I got that year.
Ooh.
Including, which really surprised my father, I asked for a model rocket kit where I wanted to learn how to build model rockets. And it had a launch pad, it had the battery operated launcher, it had a bunch of the rocket engines themselves, A cells, B cells, D cells. Now, if you know anything about model rockets, the D cells are ironically about the same size as a D cell battery. The launch thrust on them, they can lift about 4 pounds, which is a lot for a tiny little chemical rocket engine. And they will go up to about 400 or 500 feet. They are the biggest of the, well, at the time they were the biggest model rocket engines you could get. So my father bought me all of these things, and what I came to find out was that the D-cell model rocket engines fit perfectly into the exhaust ports of the F-15 Tomcat. The $120 1980s prices G.I. Joe toy. And you could put 2 of them in there, one in each exhaust port. So little Timo in his infinite wisdom jammed 2 of these model rockets into the back of this thing, spread the wings, put 2 G.I. Joe figures in it, did a special countdown, had my own little runway and everything else like that, and proceeded to fire off the F-15 Tomcat. And much to my surprise, even to this day, I didn't think it was going to take off. I didn't think it was going to leave the ground. I thought it was just going to kind of skid across the ground and look really, really cool, but not go away or get out of my reach. And this thing lifted off. It went about 15 feet before it was airborne, and it went vertical. It went almost straight up, and it was the coolest thing. Oh, I was screaming like a 10-year-old little boy. It was absolutely amazing. This now dual rocket engine airplane took off with 2 of my favorite G.I. Joes in it, by the way. Scarlet was in fact in this one. Scarlet was going for a ride, and I don't remember. I think it was Storm Shadow, the white ninja. He was actually a member of Cobra, but he was in a G.I. Joe craft that day. I think he was stealing it, and he was stealing Scarlet. This thing went vertical and takes off, and went a solid 200 feet in the air. And if you guys know anything about model rocket engines, which you may or may not, they have what's called a burst charge at the end. So after running for, I think the burn time on this thing was 15 seconds. After 15 seconds, the last little bit of gunpowder jammed in the back goes off all at once, and it blows out the other end. It doesn't blow out the end that is used for thrust. It's meant to eject the parachute. It blows the top off of your rocket and releases the parachute. Well, the F-15 Tomcat was not designed with this in mind. It had nowhere for these gases to go. It had nothing to release. It didn't even have a damn parachute. So the first one went off before the second one. They were probably a quarter second apart on the fusing. You're not supposed to launch these things 2 at a time. You only jam 1 in your rocket. So the first one explodes. And when I say explodes, it exploded. So the Tomcat, half of it comes flying off. Scarlet tries to eject, Storm Shadow tries to eject, neither one of them is wearing a parachute, and now my F-15 Tomcat is raining to the earth in pieces, except for the other half of the airplane still has an active model rocket in it, and has decided to shoot directly down, right back towards little Timo. And little Timo is too dumb to try and take cover because he's watching with awe as this is going. And then the second rocket charge goes off and blows off the nose cone of the airplane straight down to me. At which point I realized I was in fact in danger and tried to take some cover belatedly. Ended up with a couple pieces of plastic embedded in my scalp. And there were chunks of this $120 toy all over the place. I found Storm Shadow, I found Scarlet, I picked up as many of the pieces as possible, and I destroyed a $120 1980s toy that to this day is actually worth several $1,000s if you sell it on eBay.
Yeah.
But I was dumb. But yeah, so D-cell model rockets fit really conveniently into the back of those right into the back of the F-15 Tomcat for the G.I. Joe stuff. I like the Rattler too much to actually put stuff in that, but the cool thing about the Rattler was that particular design of plane had a lot of rockets you could attach to the bottom to it, and they were all conveniently bottle rocket sized. So you could glue bottle rockets to the missiles on the bottom of that ship, on the bottom of that airplane, and run around your backyard, and it would launch them quite well as rockets.
And Rainbow says, oops.
Yeah, oops. Oops was it. Now, the funny thing was, my father was not upset. He actually thought it was pretty funny, and he thought it was pretty ingenious what I had done. Now, he did have a sudden moment of, oh crap, I have to be a parent here. We can't tell him to keep doing this. So he encouraged me to do more rockets than anything else. He felt that those were safer than me sticking these things in toys that they weren't meant to. My mother, on the other hand, was pissed. My father called her up on Christmas and was laughing the whole time. And since we were still going to be at my dad's house for a week, I didn't realize what danger I was really in. Because within the period of a week, I had forgotten that my mother was mad at me. And when I got home from my father's, I got a very stern lecture and my first lesson in economics. Now, what's really, really ironic about this whole story is my father, I told you, is a professor, or was a professor of college. My father's course that he taught, or courses that he taught, were business and statistics. My father is, in fact, a mathematician. My father was an economics major in the University of Maryland in the 60s. That was my dad's specialty, was economics. My mother, on the other hand, was also an econ major with a minor in accounting. So my mom, I felt like I was talking, a good modern analogy would be Elizabeth Warren sitting down and telling you what's wrong with today's economy. And you realize that Elizabeth Warren is an extremely smart woman and knows her stuff when it comes to economics. My mother is a very smart woman and knows her form of punishment. So, long and short of the story, guys, don't stick the D-cell model rocket engines in the back of your F-15 Tomcat if the modern equivalent of your toy is about $1,000. Yeah, that's about what that toy would cost these days.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Yeah, it was. I was pretty much blowing up toys that were worth as much as my 1999 Dodge Dakota. So hey, getting back to the Dodge Dakota, that's an easy way to segue back in that. Reaper and I started to have a conversation about my truck. What were you talking about earlier, bud?
I was actually getting around to looking at some parts. See what it's going to take to get you back up and rolling, buddy.
Oh, gotcha. I appreciate that. In case you guys are wondering, Big Papa Timo owns a 1999 Dodge Dakota POS that my front brake lines decided to rot through. So my truck is sitting out. Hey, Rainbow, I just learned the GEC word for log. What's going on, Ballistical? Sorry, that's an inside joke between Rainbow and I. We have a buddy of mine goes by the name Log, which is why that's funny. Log makes bog chairs, stargazers, I guess a lot of people call them. If you don't know what those are, look them up. They are Viking era chair that is basically just two pieces of lumber that slip together, and you can kick back in them and look at the stars. This segment brought to you by Logs, Blogs, and More.
Yeah, I was actually looking at parts here. What I have found, I'm not sure if it's exactly what you need.
By the way, we have Ballisticola in the house. What's up, Cola?
What's up, BC?
Welcome to it, buddy. How's your stream? Yeah, so what I need to do on the truck, though, is so we live in Western Pennsylvania, and Western Pennsylvania loves to put the most corrosive crap on the ground during snow possible. And what they tend to do is they tend to put it down on the ground when it's not snowing, because certain parts of PennDOT doesn't like to plow or salt during the actual storm. But a week before we're supposed to get a snowstorm, they'll put all this briny crap down on the ground right before it rains, and it splashes up on your undercarriage and will rot anything steel on your car. Now, the 99 Dodge Dakota had steel brake lines, and I still have the original factory brake lines on my truck. One day, Mama Timo took the truck to the bank, called me up and said the brake pedal was going to the floor and white smoke was coming out from under the hood. Not the type of thing you want your wife to tell you when she's out and about running errands. I had to have the truck towed back to the house, and I need to put new brake lines in the front of the truck. So what'd you come up with on parts?
I was looking at the front brake lines, and the front left looks pretty much standard.
Yes, because the master cylinder is right above the left front brake.
Yep. Although the front right one I found looks very similar, but it doesn't look long enough.
Well, it depends on which one you're looking at. If it's, they actually have, it's a two-part system. It's actually a split brake line. From the master cylinder around to the other side goes back behind the radiator, I believe. And then it goes to a connection port directly above the right front brake. Now, I'm pretty handy when it comes to tools, guys. I can redo this myself. The reason I haven't redone the brake lines is because it got really damn cold.
Yeah.
And working on cold metal objects when it's cold and wet outside just sucks. That's a really pretty thing right there. Those are two lovely deposits. That's what you want to see when you first start out, guys. If you could run into those on your first planet, that would be awesome.
Yeah. BC said he had a good stream. He's got 112 augmentations now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess not leaving the station's really paying out for you there, buddy. Just scrapping those ships away.
Yeah, so if he ever does decide to leave the station,
he'll have a lot of storage.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, Cola, are you gonna upgrade that radiant pillar you got in there? Or are you gonna actually get a better ship?
Well, that is a very large oxygen patch.
It is. And there's actually two sodium patches right here. There's a little teeny one and then the big one. Alright, so this has netted me over 1,000 oxygen so far. Not that I need it, but
I was
picking
gonna
up
say,
anyways.
yeah.
Because, you can't not pick up a patch like this. I really wish they would have an emote in here where you could just lay down on the ground. Like kick back with your arms behind your head or your hands behind your head and just lay. Because I would take pictures of that all day long and be laying in these oxygen patches. Alright, so there's the O2 patch. Let's do the sodium one next.
Craft Brew said as a kid, they used to have gas engine planes that hooked up to a couple of strings and you hold on to the end of the strings to fly them. Cool.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah, it had you could do the up and down elevators on the strings, and it would you'd spin around in a circle, basically. You would get so dizzy doing those things.
He said sometimes they would have chicken fights with them. Sometimes we would take the strings off and launch them out of a window in the top of the barn and just let them fly wherever they wanted.
That's what I was trying to do with that F-15 Tomcat. I thought it was just going to go in a straight line.
If I remember correctly, those actually would fly for quite a while.
As long as they didn't crash into something, yeah, they were
Yeah.
aerodynamically sound. Now, getting into another funny story, since we're bringing up gas-powered airplanes. So, as any father of my age can attest, when you have your first child, every man kind of goes through a little crisis right before their first is born, because we don't want to give up being a little boy anymore. So normally, what we do is we'll make an obnoxious purchase um, several weeks before our first child is born, and not everybody does it, but it's pretty common, and it tends to be some type of a big kid toy. Now, right before my first was born, um, I had been saving up just a little bit of extra money, and I went to the local hobby shop, and I had I had a bunch of model cars before, like RC cars that were the higher end electric remote control cars. Um, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to get an airplane. So I bought a model airplane, a gas powered, radio controlled airplane.
Ooh.
And I did all my research on it. Now, granted, this is back in the mid 90s, so we didn't have the interweb that we have nowadays, guys. It's not like I could just Google this stuff and find out all the info. I had to go to the library and take
The
out books
library.
and read about model um, model airplanes and a bunch of other things. And I went to the local airfield. Yes, we had a local airfield. And I talked to the veterans, the guys that were out there that were doing the loop-de-loops and looked like they really knew their shit. I fanboyed on those guys, and um, I had a guy was training me, everything else like that, and he told me what to look for when I went and bought my first one. Now, the problem I had was I didn't have time to buy a kit and build it from scratch. It's Wendigo now, actually. Yeah, Rainbow has been following me through all of my trucks. So, gotta take a quick squirrel moment here to explain the truck names. So the '99 Dodge Dakota is the white one, and that is Wendigo. The one that came before it was Pimento 2, which was a red '98 Dodge Dakota. That what really sucks. Almost 2 years ago now, I had Pimento 2, and I was coming back from an event in Ohio. I was coming back from an event in central Ohio, and I blew the front brakes on Pimento 2 and got stranded in the middle of Nowheresville, Ohio for 2 days. So I replaced the front brake lines on Pimento 2. Now, when Pimento 2's engine died, I bought Wendigo and butchered the transmission from Pimento 2 and put it in Wendigo because the tranny was bad in that truck. What I forgot to do was take out the brand new brake lines in Pimento 2 and put them in the front of Wendigo. I should have. Would have solved this problem right off the bat. And then coming back from an event in Wendigo this past year, I was coming down the mountains and a woman pulled out in front of me, and I'm pulling a trailer with lots of weight, and I blew the rear brake lines on Wendigo. So she has new rear brake lines, but the front brakes never got replaced. So that's that one. So yeah, it's Wendigo, not Pimento 2. Getting back to the story of the model airplane. So I go and I learn all this stuff about model airplanes, and I'm ready to take this thing out on its maiden voyage, basically, and I'm pretty proud of this. And my wife, being the understanding, amazing, lovely woman that she is actually excited for me that I have spent $1,000 on a big kid toy right before we're about to have a child. But she understood that, is kind of like my midlife crisis happening really, really early. So she doesn't give me any shit about it. She encourages me to do my thing. And I ask her if she wants to go with me to the airfield for the maiden voyage of my airplane. I bought a pre-built one. I had taken it out to the airfield, and I let a couple of the veteran guys that are out there actually fly her. She flew beautifully. Everything was operational. They were giving her a clean bill of health. She should have been fine. And I dragged my 8.5-month pregnant wife out into the middle of the country where there's actually not even a bathroom. Don't ever take a pregnant woman someplace where there's not a bathroom. It's just dumb. But she goes with me to the airfield, and we go out there, and I get everything all lined up, all ready to go. Go through my pre-flight checks, get this thing fueled up, get the batteries, you know, they're all charged, they're all ready to go, everything's good to go. Fire this puppy up, put it down on the ground. It starts taxiing to the end of the runway the way that it's supposed to. I turn the airplane around, and I've got a full runway to go. Everything's going just fine. Get up to speed, and I pull back on the stick to just give it a little bit of elevator to get it off the ground, and this thing goes straight vertical. Straight up, 90 degrees to the ground.
Ooh.
That was not what I told it to do. But one of the elevators got stuck. The servo motor got stuck in a fully elevated position, and this thing just goes straight up. And my wife is not sure if this is intentional. She's actually watching the airplane. She's not watching the panic on my face as this $1,000 of midlife crisis is trying to achieve orbit.
Oh no.
Now, it is not a model rocket. This is a little RC plane, and they're not designed to go vertical. They're also not meant to do barrel rolls. But the way that the fuel tanks work on these things is the fuel tank is a little cell inside the body, and the fuel can go anywhere in it. So if it does go upside down, it doesn't spill out. It's a sealed system. And there's a little tube with a weight in it so that when it does go vertical or turn upside down, the suction device is still submerged in fuel. So it's actually getting enough fuel to go vertical, but since I was only going to fly this thing for a couple minutes, I only half filled the gas tank, and it ran out of fuel relatively quickly because it was not designed, like I said, to go vertical. So while it still has half a tank of gas, the suction nozzle is no longer in the fuel, and it stalls. So I am watching in horror as my $1,000 radio-controlled airplane is now not trying to achieve orbit, but trying to bury itself into the earth. It's coming straight down at this point in time. And my wife is not sure what's going on. She's just patiently watching my dumbass about to destroy $1,000. And so I'm doing everything in my power. And the thing that they always teach you is that if you ever have a catastrophic failure of your control system, to turn your radio controller off and on again. I know it's a classic IT solution, turn it off and back on again. So I am struggling to turn my RC controller off and on and reset all of my controls. It is now about halfway back down to the ground. It's 100 feet from impact because this thing made it a couple hundred feet up in the air. And everything comes back to life except for the engine. You can't actually start a model airplane. Well, I mean, there are models that do it, but mine was not designed to just push a button and the engine starts. You actually had to start it with a starter on the ground. But I have controls again. So I'm trying frantically to get this thing not to plummet straight into the earth. And I get it to pull up right before it's about to hit the ground. So instead of hitting the ground straight down, it hit it at about a 45-degree angle. And if anybody has ever seen a plane crash, planes like to cartwheel and then come apart in pieces.
Yeah.
So the wingtip caught the ground first, and then the engine smacked into the ground, and then it just kind of cartwheeled through the alfalfa field that was around the airfield. And to my wife's amazement, she's not... she doesn't have a sick sense of humor, kind of like I do. But my wife turns at me and looks me right in the eye and just giggles once. and proceeds to walk back to the car. And I walk out into the field, pick up the ruins of my model airplane, come back to the car, and I told my wife, that's not how that was supposed to happen. And she looks me in the eyes and says, I know, I have to pee. So I took my wife to go use a restroom. So it worked out in her favor, but not for mine. And that's the story of my model airplane. I don't have the best luck when it comes to airplanes in the sky.
See, my son and I actually have remote control race trucks.
Ooh.
I really want a helicopter, but I don't want to spend all that money knowing I'm crash said helicopter.
Yeah, helicopters are a lot more expensive than the planes.
And a lot more difficult to fly.
So Craft Brew asked me, did I ever fix the plane? Craft, if you saw how many pieces that thing turned into, there was no fixing it. What I ended up doing was I pulled out all of the servo motors. I pulled out all of the elevator arms. I pulled out the fuel tank, the fuel lines, the battery, and the engine, and sold those as parts. The body was not salvageable in any way, shape, or form. And no, I did not rebuild it because it would have taken me longer to rebuild it than... I couldn't buy a new one, and my son was born 2 weeks later, so I never did get another radio-controlled airplane. Rainbow knows my wife, so she knows that is very much Mama Timo's modus operandi when she sees something screwed up that I do. Bummer. Yeah,
Bummer.
That was pretty much my reaction. Bummer. Dad has the old big battery off-road RC cars. He has an old big truck and a dune buggy. Nice.
Yeah.
What was the name of the... Oh, it was the Japanese company. Taiko?
Taiko.
Taiko. The Taiko cars. Yeah. I had the Taiko RC Falcon, which was like the beginner's RC car, and that thing had a ground speed of about 40 miles an hour. That was the first time I got a radio control car. Those things were not cheap either. So going back to the late 80s, early 90s, the radio controllers on those things were probably $400.
Oh yeah.
The car itself, the car kit was probably 120. But the motor that came with the Taiko Falcon was a chunk of crap. So you couldn't actually stick with that one. You had to get an upgrade, and the upgrade motors were probably $200 as well. I think I sank $1,000 into my RC car, and I had a bottom of the barrel RC car. The Falcon was not nearly. It wasn't a very good one. It wasn't one you were going to win a lot of races with, but it was sure as hell a lot of fun to take in the backyard and jump over the shed with. Oh, look at all these fingers over here too.
See, my son and I both have low C stadium trucks. His is 22 SCT and mine is a triple X. But I bet just in trucks, batteries, controllers, various other bits and bobs, I bet I have $2,000.
Oh, easily. Now here's one of the other funny things. So in modern times, we all take for granted cell phones. Because everybody has a cell phone. You walk everywhere with it, but cell phones were not that prevalent until the early 2000s. In the mid-90s, the FCC had to come up with something to do with all these new signals that they had to regulate. So they focused on two markets that had huge amounts of bandwidth available to them that were useful to the cell phone market. And they realized that companies like Verizon and AT&T and Sprint and T-Mobile and everything else like that, they were going to spend a lot more money than the two markets that they focused on for the bandwidth that they needed for all the cell phones. What people don't realize is your cell phone today operates on the exact same frequencies that my model airplane and RC car did back in the 90s. And the other thing that they targeted was pacemakers. So pacemakers all have a radio device attached to them, and the frequency that pacemakers were on was meant to be mobilely accessible for remote monitoring for doctors. But there are not that many pacemakers in the United States in particular, but there are a lot of cell phones, and they were getting to be more and more. So back in the 90s, the FCC changed the regulations that the cell phone industry was given the rights to a certain block of bandwidth. And they basically told everybody with the radio control cars, you guys have to get, you have to operate on a new signal because you're going to interfere with the cell phones. That wasn't that big of a deal because the higher end RC cars, you could pull the little crystal out of it and put a different crystal in it, and it would operate at a different frequency. Your pacemaker, not so much. So they offered everybody in the United States a free upgrade on their pacemaker to get them off of these signals. And in Dallas, where the HD signal was going to go live for the first time, they had two people held out on it. So the day that they switched over the signal to the cell phones, these two people actually knew that they would probably get interference from a local cell phone with their pacemaker, and it would put them into VTAC. And I guess they were hoping they could sue somebody, because sure enough, when the signal went live for the cell towers, that's exactly what happened, was that these two people with pacemakers went into defib, and their pacemakers weren't operating correctly because they were no longer on the remote monitoring system, and they had heart attacks. Neither of them died. They both went to the hospital and sure enough tried to sue, of all people, the FCC. They didn't try and sue Verizon. They didn't try and sue Sprint. They didn't try and sue the cell phone companies. They tried to sue the federal government for changing this.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, so first off, you can sue the government all you want, and you might win, but what the government doesn't like to do is the government doesn't like to settle. The government likes to take you to court because they have government lawyers for that.
Yeah.
Verizon, on the other hand, likes to settle because they don't like bad publicity. These people probably could have gotten a new pacemaker and a couple $1 million from the cell companies, but no, they went after the government. Catch up on chat real quick. Compared to RC10s, that cost $1K and mine was $2K or 200 kit. Yeah, so I remember the RC10. Yeah, the RC10 was a good one.
See, ours will do. Mine's a little bit faster than his. Mine will ground speed of about 75.
Oh God.
Yeah, dude, they're crazy fast. It's amazing how far the technology has come. And these are electric. Now, I used to have a gas powered one that was extremely fast. Craft Brew's been thinking about getting a nice RC boat to play with at the cottage, but he can't justify it because if he did, of course, he would have to get the fastest one, and I'm sure his wife wouldn't be impressed. You know, Craft Brew, I keep saying it, keep telling Timo this, it's always better to ask forgiveness than permission.
See, I just don't get caught, so I don't need to do either.
Well, that's not exactly something you can.
I could hide that. I could hide that in a heartbeat. Now, of course, Rainbow would be the one that gets to see me. We'd be at Ragnarok or something like that, and I'd be down at the the lower field at the LARP event, playing with a boat in the pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the big thing also, like back in the 90s, the gas-powered ones, um, where technology has changed the most, I think, with radio control stuff, is in the um, not in the controllers or anything else like that. It's really come in battery tech
Oh yeah.
and the engine, the motors, the little electric motors. They've gotten much more powerful, much lighter. The batteries have gotten so much lighter and actually carry a charge for longer than 7 minutes.
Not much long. I mean, depending on how hard you're running them. So, you know, we run 2-cell LiPo batteries,
Mhm.
and I can usually get a good 15-minute race out of a battery, but it's pretty much by the end of the race, it's starting to slow down.
Yeah.
Now you can get a little bit longer if you go with a 3-cell, but not really much. It's more where the battery tech has come is the discharge rate.
Mhm.
They discharge a lot faster, which is where you get the speed.
Yeah, I think the
Excuse
max
me.
we could ever get back in my day was probably about 45. Now you could gear your motors to get a little bit faster, but the motor itself just didn't spin fast enough to get up to 70 for sure. I mean, maybe you could get 50 if you really push the technology. But then again, we were
Yeah.
also using our batteries were single battery cores, but they were 6 cells, and they were the equivalent of 6 D-cell batteries. And that was literally 75% of the weight of your car was the battery
Yeah.
pack. So they were limited in speed on the motors, limited in the discharge speed, and then limited by the weight of the battery itself.
See, now I believe the record for fastest RC car is over 300 now.
Now, see, I could totally understand stuff like that because the record for um, radio controlled flight is like Mach 4. But if you really think about it, drones are basically just
Yeah.
radio controlled jets. And I'm pretty sure that the record for radio control or amateur rockets is space. They've actually had people launch things into orbit for amateur rockets. Also, if you're ever going to launch something that goes higher than 500 feet, kids, remember to get clearance. If it goes higher than 500 feet, you need to tell the government that you're going to launch it.
Which, when you're talking about model rocketry, that's not very much.
No, actually, a D-cell model rocket engine will go 1,000 feet in a heartbeat. A lot of people actually forget that with model rocket engines, the A's and the B's, which are the smaller model rockets, they will stay beneath that range. So if you're using a C cell or a D cell or any self-produced model rocket engine, you're supposed to be declaring it. Now, like
Yeah.
with where I live now, I don't have the option. If I launch anything higher than 150 feet from my house, I'm going to have problems because, first off, I have the airport nearby with the. Oh, of course he saw me shoot that. We have the helicopters for the hospital. So they kind of frown on me doing model rockets, but I also have an Air National Guard base at the local airport right up on top of the hill. So if I launch anything here, I'll get an Apache helicopter. I'll get a longbow will come by and scope me out. It was actually kind of funny. I used to work for a local cemetery, and we had veterans funerals a lot. A lot of our burials there were vets. If we called the local Air National Guard, they would come do an honor flyover for us for any vet that was being buried. And one day we had a Vietnam era vet that was a Huey pilot had passed away, and we were burying him. So we called the Air National Guard locally, and we said, hey, we're having a veteran's funeral this day. He was a helicopter pilot. Would you guys mind sending a flyover? Lo and behold, what we didn't realize was the gentleman that we were burying was actually a well-decorated helicopter pilot, and he was a helicopter instructor with the Air National Guard for a while. So they actually knew. They had already planned on doing a flyover. What they ended up doing was they sent 8 Apache helicopters, 4 Hueys, and a Jolly Green Giant, which was a Vietnam era. I think it's a Sikorsky is the actual brand of helicopter that it was. So they had all of these show up, and the first one that shows up was the Longbow. The Longbow is the Apache helicopter that they use for surveillance. So it flies really low to the rooftops, or not rooftops, but the treetops and stuff like that. They're also deathly quiet. They're made to be very stealthy. So all of a sudden, this Apache helicopter comes flying over the trees and is hovering right over top of the funeral while they are blowing taps. They timed it really well with the VFW and the Honor Guard and everything else like that. So it came over, and then the helicopters all flew over with missing man formation for this gentleman. And it was by far the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. But, for an honor for somebody being sent off. Now, I've been to quite a few funerals in my time. I come from a very large military family, and I have relatives that are actually buried in Arlington National Cemetery. I think the local Air National Guard did a better honor to this gentleman than I've seen even at Arlington National. It was just absolutely amazing. But yeah, if I ever shoot a rocket off at my house, that's who's going to come see me.
What's up, Galaxy? Welcome to the stream, buddy.
Yeah,
man. Zane is live.
Zane is live. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm done telling funny stories. You have anything left for us, Reaper?
Just a second here. I'm dropping some links. Dropped your Discord, my channel. If you haven't already, check out my channel. Subscribe, hit the bell. The next mid-launch crisis will be on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be on my channel, hopefully, barring no
further complications.
Yeah, no further complications. Now, I did say that I'm finally in a position to start upgrading my current situation. So I may be changing some things around. If that happens between now and then and I'm not up and running, we can always fall back to Timo's channel. I did not drop Mary's link. Why didn't it drop Mary's link?
Did you type it in as Mary Lizzie?
I did not. I typed it in as Mary.
All right, I believe it has to be Mary Lizzie.
That's right, because I have the link here anyway.
Oh, I just totally messed up my YouTube.
Devontae says, no more stories. We need more Reaper and Timo. There will be more Reaper and Timo coming in the future. I apologize, guys. I know I've been slacking on the streaming. Been doing more gaming than streaming, and kind of life happening.
Things happen, guys. We all make accommodations.
I know, and like Timo said, my busy season is rapidly approaching, where I won't be able to stream as much, but I am going to do my best to kind of set things up to where, I only have to hit a couple buttons to go live. So we'll get there. I know Timo is definitely implementing some things to get his streaming more professional.
Yeah, I'm also going to be making a pretty rapid move to some cross-platform stuff. I've been working on the Facebook page, which I know Deavante and Twiggy don't really like as much because it's got kind of clunky chat. But I'm gonna be perfectly honest here, guys. I have more followers on my Facebook gaming page than I do on my YouTube gaming page, and it's 2 weeks old.
Well, you'll
Discoverability, but is a huge thing. But what I'm trying to do is actually stream to both at the same time, where I have the YouTube up and the Facebook up, and do the whole restream to Twitch and Mixer and all that other fun crap. So yeah, we're growing still. We're still growing. And
now the
we're
thing
gonna
you have to remember about Facebook though is you basically have a captive audience when you're sending out your invites. You directly invited everybody on your list, and unfortunately on YouTube
that's not
you
an
have
option.
to you have to rely on people finding you. So although your initial growth on Facebook was faster, um, you're gonna kind of tap out, if you know what I mean. At least that's the way I see it, because you have a friends list, but
Oh, I know what you're saying.
yeah. But yeah, like Timo said, we're growing, we're changing, we're evolving. We'll see how that goes. That was it, man.
Did you actually drop the link to Zane?
I didn't. I did not. I copied it, and then I ended up copying over it to get Mary's.
Well, Mary's is more important anyway, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Now, we love Zane, we really do, but we definitely want to support Mary Lizzie.
Yep. So there's a link to Zane's current live stream. Let me add something to that. And then there we go.
All right, guys. Well, I definitely appreciate everybody swinging by. I love the conversation. Love chatting with everybody. Big Pop Timo needs to go take his meds and eat something. So, hey, if you get a chance, go check out Reaper. If you aren't already, subscribe, like he said. Go check out Zane's World. I'm sure he's doing something cool today. I think he's doing a survival save. Until next time, fly safe. And, of course, I am totally unprepared. Yes, we're still live, by the way.